Good day, future thinkers. Adam here, and Crikey, have we got something amazing to talk about today? Robots? Yeah, those mechanical marvels. They're not just science fiction anymore, are they? They're already part of our world right now in 2025. Think about it, those little robot vacuum cleaners. The ones that zoom around your house, munching up dust bunnies. Or even those clever robot arms in factories putting cars together faster than you can say Bob's your uncle. It's truly mind-blowing stuff, and we're just scratching the surface, mates. Now these robots are getting smarter all the time, you know. It's not just simple machines doing one job over and over. They're learning, adapting, becoming more like, well, us in some ways. Scientists and engineers are working super hard on this. They're giving robots better sensors like eyes and ears, and they're programming them with something called artificial intelligence, or AI. This means they can make decisions, solve problems, and even learn from their mistakes. Fair dinkum, it's like watching evolution happen right before our eyes, but with metal and wires. And it's not just about cleaning floors or building things, not by a long shot. Robots are our brave explorers, going where humans can't easily go. Think about those rovers on Mars trundling across the red planet. They're sending back incredible pictures and data, all on their own. Or imagine deep-sea robots, diving miles down into the ocean's darkness. They explore shipwrecks and discover bizarre new creatures. These mechanical adventurers are pushing the boundaries of our knowledge. They're helping us understand the universe and our own world better. Pretty cool, eh? These bots are really out there doing the hard yakka for science. So, if robots can explore distant planets in the deepest oceans, and if they can build complicated machines with super precision, it makes you wonder, doesn't it? What else could they do? Could they take on even more complex jobs? Jobs that are dangerous, or jobs that need heaps of strength? This is where things get really interesting and a little bit sci-fi. Because some people are thinking about robots for some very serious tasks. Tasks that, until now, only humans have really done. Let's dive in. Alright, let's get down to brass tacks. What in the blazes is a robot army? Well, picture this. Instead of human soldiers, you have machines. Robots specifically designed for military jobs, that's the core idea. These aren't your friendly household bots, not by a long shot, mate. We're talking about tough, rugged machines built for challenging tasks. Think flying drones that can see for miles like robotic eagles, or strong four-legged robots like mechanical pack horses carrying heavy gear. Even bigger, more powerful robots designed for specific combat roles. It's a whole new frontier. Now a big question is, who's in charge of these mechanical troops? Mostly today, these kinds of robots are controlled by humans. A soldier sits safely somewhere using a joystick or a computer. They see what the robot sees and tell it what to do, like a super advanced video game. But here's where it gets a bit more Terminator. Some folks are working on autonomous robots. These would be robots that could make their own decisions on the battlefield. Using that AI we talked about, they could decide when to move, what to target. That's a massive leap, and it brings up some seriously curly questions, believe me. The idea of a machine making life or death calls is pretty heavy stuff. One huge difference between a robot soldier and a human one is pretty obvious. Robots don't get tired. They don't need sleep or food or a cuppa. They can keep going 24/7, as long as their batteries or fuel lasts. And crucially, they don't feel fear. They don't get scared in dangerous situations. They won't panic under fire, or hesitate because they're worried. They just follow their programming, their orders, whatever the risk. This makes them incredibly predictable in some ways, but also very different. There's no human emotion driving their actions on the front line. So what could these robot soldiers actually do? Heaps of things, really. Imagine a small, sneaky robot that can crawl into dangerous buildings. It could scout ahead, sending back video, looking for traps or danger. That means human soldiers don't have to risk their necks going in blind. Or think about robots designed to disarm bombs. That's a classic one. They can handle explosive devices with delicate precision, saving lives. Others could carry supplies, ammunition, or even rescue injured soldiers. They could form defensive lines or patrol borders, always vigilant, always ready. The possibilities are as wide as the outback, and engineers are exploring them all. When you stack up a robot army against a human one, the differences are massive. We've touched on some, but let's really break it down Mythbusters style. First up, logistics. Human soldiers need food, water, shelter, warm clothes. They need medical care if they get hurt, and they need to get paid, fair enough. Robots? Not so much. They need power, sure, and spare parts. But no tucker, no paychecks, no sleeping bags. This could make them cheaper to deploy in the long run, some people argue. and they can operate in places too harsh for humans like extreme heat or cold. Then there's what they can actually do. Robots can be incredibly strong. They can lift massive weights that would make a weightlifter weep. They can also be super precise, making the same movement perfectly every time. Think about a robot sniper. It wouldn't have a shaky hand, would it? But humans have something robots, at least for now, don't: intuition. Gut feelings. We can read a situation, understand complex human behavior, show empathy. A human soldier might hesitate, might make a judgment call based on compassion. A robot programmed for a task might not. That's a huge difference in approach. Can you program common sense or a moral compass? That's the big question. And what about the emotional side of things? This is a big one, mates. When a human soldier is lost in battle, it's a terrible tragedy. Families grieve, mates mourn, a whole community feels the pain. If a robot is destroyed, well, it's a loss of expensive equipment for sure. But there are no tears shed for a broken machine, are there? Not in the same way. This could make sending robots into harm's way seem easier, but then, what about the ethics of it all? Is it right to create machines purely for fighting? Just because we can build a robot army, does it mean we should? These aren't easy questions, and people have very strong opinions on both sides. It changes the whole nature of conflict, and we need to think hard about that. Let's talk about speed. Robots can think fast, super fast. Computers can process information way quicker than our human brains. In a fast-moving battle, a robot could react in microseconds. That could be a massive advantage, making decisions quicker than any human opponent. But what if that super-fast decision is the wrong one? What if there's a glitch in the software or a sensor misreads something? A human might pause, double-check, or ask for confirmation. A fully autonomous robot might just act, and the consequences could be devastating. There's a real risk if these systems aren't absolutely, positively 100% foolproof, and what is? Alright, so we've seen these robot armies could be a real game changer, but are they a good thing or a bad thing for us humans? Let's explore. One of the biggest arguments for them is saving human lives. That's huge. Imagine sending a robot into a burning building to find survivors after an earthquake, or using a robot to clear a minefield, where any misstep could be fatal for a person. These are incredibly dangerous jobs, and if a robot gets damaged, it's a machine. It's not a father, a mother, a son, or a daughter lost. That potential to protect our own people is a massive plus. You can't deny it. And it's not just about those super high-risk life or death scenarios either. Think about all the dull, dirty, and dangerous jobs in the world. Jobs that humans, frankly, probably shouldn't have to do if there's an alternative. Robots could guard remote outposts in freezing cold or blistering heat, 24/7. They could handle hazardous materials or patrol long, boring stretches of border. This could free up humans for more complex, creative, or strategic tasks. Tasks that actually need that human brain and human touch we talked about. So in this way, robots could be fantastic assistants, helping us out big time. They could take the worst jobs and leave the better ones for us, but hold your horses, it's not all sunshine and robot roses, is it? There are some seriously scary what-ifs we need to consider big time. What if these super smart robot armies get hacked by the bad guys? Imagine someone turning our own robots against us. That's proper nightmare fuel. Or what if they just malfunction? A software bug, a broken sensor, a robot with powerful weapons making a mistake could be catastrophic. And then there's the ultimate fear. What if they become too autonomous? What if we lose control and they start making decisions we don't want them to make? It sounds like a movie plot, but it's a risk scientists take very seriously. We need to build in rock-solid safeguards, that's for sure. So, what's my take on all this? Are robot armies the future or a future we should avoid? Well, I reckon it's a bit of both. Like a lot of powerful new technologies, the potential for these robots to save human lives is incredible. Truly, using them for dangerous jobs, for reconnaissance, for defense, I can see the appeal, and this is a big but, we have to be so incredibly careful, mates. The idea of fully autonomous robot soldiers making their own kill decisions, that worries me heaps. I think humans absolutely must stay in control, in the loop, making the big calls. Technology is a tool, and it's up to us how we use it. The question isn't just can we build them, but should we, and how do we ensure they stay a force for good? That's something we all need to think about as these bots get more advanced. What do you reckon?